In this video, we will review how to use the KPI admin page to build a few custom key performance indicators, such as adjusted abandoned calls and adjusted abandoned percentage. On this page, to get started, click on where you select the cube and KPI. For the cube, we're going to select the index associated to the data that we would like to create a key performance indicator from. In this case, we're wanting to use some Q data, so we'll select the Q history index. First thing we do is select the KPI group. You can add a KPI group here by putting in a new name for whatever KPI group you'd like to create. We'll go ahead and create one called Custom. Once you've clicked Add, that new KPI group has now been created. Next, we'll name our key performance indicator. In this case, we're going to be created one called Adjusted Abandoned. Our purpose with this key performance indicator is to take the abandoned total, but exclude calls that abandoned in less than 20 seconds. And we're going to be calling this our Adjusted Abandoned Key Performance Indicator. Click Add to create the new KPI. Now that we've added the new KPI and put it into a KPI group, we can go into the Templates and Settings section to configure how we would like this to be formatted. First thing you'll do is select a template. The existing template shown here is to create a percentage. That's not what we're looking for in this case, so let's click on the drop-down menu and select from one of the other existing template options. I believe the one we're looking for will be this one, which is the sum of value A minus the sum of value B to equal our value. We'll be taking abandoned total, subtracting the total that abandoned in less than 20 seconds to achieve our adjusted abandoned KPI. Next will be the format of the actual KPI. In this case, we don't need any formatting because it'll just be a numeric value. To the right, we can adjust thresholds to express automatically in the dashboards, so that if you're greater or less than 100, it will be green, 90, orange, 85, red. I'm not ready to assign any thresholds now, so I'm going to go ahead and click delete on these to remove them. You can do it individually, or I can select delete up at the top to remove them all. Now we're going to configure the KPI. To do so, I need to select two values. The first is going to be the abandoned total, which I can find in sum. So we're going to take here the abandoned count, and just as our formula was configured, it's going to take what is in set A and subtract from it what we put in set B. So in this case, we want abandoned under 20 seconds. And hit Add. Once you've added the appropriate measures to your sets so that they will be calculated based on your formula template, scroll back up to the top and select Update KPI. That's all there is to it. We've now saved the new KPI that we created called Adjusted Abandoned. Let's take what we just learned about creating the Adjusted Abandoned KPI and make a new one to express it as a percentage. To do so, we can use the same KPI group, but let's make a new KPI, and we can call this one Percentage Abandoned Adjusted. Click Add to add the new KPI, just as before. This will give you a new set of thresholds that you can either use or customize, and a new template to begin working. Because we would like this to be a percentage rather than a count, we're going to want to use a different template. The template for standard percentages can be found here, expressed as the sum of A divided by the sum of B times 100 to express as a percentage. Now that we have the correct template selected, you'll want to apply the appropriate format as well. Scrolling to nearly the bottom, we have percentage among others, and that would be correct for this KPI. Our thresholds need some adjusting. Abandoned is not a positive metric, so having 100% abandoned, I wouldn't want to be expressed as green. I'm going to express this as red, as that is quite negative to have 100% abandoned even with the adjusted. In fact, all of these upper ranges probably ought to be red as well. Maybe I'll add a few more, such as if there are fewer than or equal to 10%, we'll have it be green. And you can further customize these to whatever ranges you think are appropriate. To build our percentage adjusted abandon, we're going to take our new KPI that we've made, the adjusted abandoned, and add it to set A. The denominator in this case should be the total calls offered, which I can find here in sum and select. This will now take the adjusted abandoned KPI we've created and divide it by the total offered count to give us a percentage of abandoned calls adjusted for those that dropped before 20 seconds. I hope this was useful for you and that you feel a little more comfortable using the KPI admin tool.